Hi everyone and welcome back to Nick's Diecast. For today's video I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale Welly Porsche 911 Carrera 991. So this is a very good model from Welly, and you can find it anywhere from around like $45, and I've seen it go up to like $65. This was a gift I got for Christmas for my parents. I think when I had them get it for me, it was I think about like $45 on the site it was from. This is from American Excellence, and I believe they still have the Welly Carrera on their website. I think I checked a couple weeks ago. They had it in like red, and I think it's still available in a yellow as well. Other colors that this model comes in are silver, black, white. So in total, it comes in about like 6 or 7 colors, which is really good. They all have the same color interior, just all black, as you can see here. Overall, I'd say for the $45 to $60 price range, this model is very good, but I wouldn't buy it for above $60. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the details of this model. We'll take a look at the front to start off with. I think Welly did an excellent job with these headlights. And proper to the real car, they are kind of dark in the background there, like they have the black in the back there. They did a nice job with molding like the bulb and everything, and like the silver down underneath there. And the lenses are actually nice and flush with the body of the car, as you can see here. And they aren't loose or anything like that either. They also did a great job with these LED turn signals down here. You can see they look like actual lights. Like if the light shines on them, it kind of looks like they're turned on a little bit. But again, they're nice and flush with the body, and they're well detailed overall. In addition, on the side here, these lights are separate pieces. On other budget models, they'll just be painted on, but this is a Welly, so they did a better job with with these side lights. The lower grills here look good overall. They aren't like hollowed out or anything like that, but at least they're on there, and they look very good from a distance, especially. And they aren't loose or anything like that, like you would see on other models. So the Porsche badge up here is nicely done as well. It's not like a separate badge or anything, but it is nicely painted on and everything. It's nice and center, and it looks very good overall. Taking a look at the side of the model, I'd say Welly did an excellent job with these rims, which were available on the real 911 Carrera S. The disc brake actually does move through the caliper, both of which are very well detailed. It even says Porsche in very, very small lettering on the caliper, as you can see here. And of course, you get full steering, which is very good, and full suspension as well, just like a Mazda would have. And this model does include side windows, as you can see here. They look very nice. It doesn't close fully flush sometimes, so you just gotta kind of pop it in with your finger a little bit. But the windows themselves aren't that loose or anything, and I'll show you that once I open up the doors and everything. The overall paint quality, I would say, is very good on this model. There's a couple areas like on the hood here. I don't know what that kind of like black effect is on there, but it's very hard to see unless you look right at it. Welly's paint quality can be spotty at times, and this model is no exception. You can see there's actually another small paint defect back here. You can see where it says Carrera, there's a little kind of bubble right there. But this would vary on a model-by-model basis. Not every single Welly would come with like a paint defect, but you just got to be careful on everything. And if you opt for a darker color, then paint defects are less less prevalent, like the silver or the black. If they had any paint defects, they'd be kind of hard to spot. This is a brighter color, so it's kind of easier to spot like the blemishes and everything. But overall, from a distance, you can't tell that there's any kind of defects, and only if you look really, really close. Like I didn't even notice this back here until I really started to look at the model up close. And speaking of the paint defect in the back, we'll take a look at the back of the model next. I think Welly did an excellent job with these taillights back here. They kind of had like a reflective pattern on them, and they're nice and flush with the body, as you can see. These lower lights down here, they're just painted on, so they do look a bit cheap. That's something that like a Mazda model would have on it. It's not a big deal, but it would have been nice if they put like some separate plastic pieces down there. But these are very small lights, so I think putting in a separate piece would be kind of hard, because that's where like the bumper lip is and whatnot too. The exhaust pipes look good overall as well. They're not chrome; they're actually painted silver, so they look a lot more like authentic and everything. And they're actually hollowed out on the insides too, as you can see. So in terms of opening features on this model, you actually do get this nice door opener tool if you get the model new. And it's nice because you can just kind of reach into the door handle and pull it like so. I'll open up the doors and then we'll take a look at the other opening features on the model as well. And this door tool actually works with other models too. This driver door is a bit tricky to get open because the window kind of catches a little bit, so I try to be very careful with that. But we'll start up with the luggage compartment here. We'll open that up first to start off with and take a look at that. So I think Welly did a good job overall with the luggage compartment here. It's not carpeted or anything like that, but the whole piece itself is nice and tight in the car. They do put a Porsche inscription up here, and there is a little vent, but there's not much detail to see other than that. There is a small blue spot up here. I think that might be like where the washer fluid goes, but there's not too much to see otherwise. And the underside of the hood is fully painted, as you can see, and there's actually a little latch on here too. So the reason why I wouldn't pay above $65 or so on this is because it doesn't include carpeting or anything like that. The details overall are excellent, but for, above that price, I would expect maybe some carpeting, but it's not a big deal. Some Wellys do have it. This is from the regular Welly next line, so it doesn't have it. Go ahead and close up the hood. All right, we'll take a look at the engine back here next. Now on the 911 Carrera, the 991 generation, most of the engine is not like visible from up above, but what is visible, Welly did a great job with. You can see underneath these vents here is actually fans. The fans don't spin, of course, but they do a very cool effect with like the clear cover and then have the fans underneath it there. It does say Carrera 3.8 right there and the silver lettering, and there is a vent here. There's a couple of fluid caps right there. And this piece is nice and tight and everything. It's not loose or anything like that. But most of the engine detail is underneath here, as you can see. And I think Welly did a great job with it. It is all done in silver, but at least they do separate pieces for it, and most of the detail is there. Would have been nice if they did some different, coloring and whatnot, but I think what's there is good. This is more than like a Mazda would have if they were to do this model. And speaking of the undercarriage, that's pretty much all that there is to see under there. Everything else is covered with black plastic, because the real car would have all these covers under it too for aerodynamics. All right, we'll take a look at the interior detailing next. So on the door panels, you can see there's some silver trim up top here, and they do a nice job with these window buttons and the door handles too. They're painted in silver, just like they would be on the real car. The silver is an option to get on the real Carrera. That's kind of like an accent in the interior. The side windows look good from the side as well. They aren't loose or anything like that. Maybe a slight bit too thick, but it's not a big deal. It saves so much time with cleaning the car because you know that there's not going to be any dust on the inside from the side windows. These seats are nicely done as well. They have a nice pattern on them. The pattern on the seats actually matches the pattern on the dashboards. I'm not really sure if that's proper or not, but the overall size and shape of the seats looks great. They even put in the little buttons down below there you can see in silver. That's where the adjustment controls would be for the seats. And there's also seat belts too. They're just kind of hard to say. But overall, they did a nice job with the seats, as you can see here. And even the back seat too, they put in seat belts. If I zoom in real far, you can kind of see it poking out in the back there. All right, we'll take a look next at the center console. Welly also did an excellent job with the center console here. All the buttons are very finely detailed and printed on there. You can even read some of them too. All like the park, reverse, and drive, and all those printings for the shifter are on there nicely. And the GPS screens actually turn on and it reads Porsche, as you can see right there. Again, it has the same pattern pretty much throughout the interior, like the floor and the seats and the dashboard have the same pattern. I know Mazda, they'll do like a different pattern for the seats and stuff, so this skims a little bit on detail in terms of that, but at least the finer detailing with like the center console looks good. And there is actually some trim around the vents, as you can see in the center there, with like the silver and everything like that, so it does look very good. The steering wheel is also well detailed. It's got the Porsche badge in the center, and you can see there's a little side buttons on there. They're actually done in silver, so they look pretty cool. There's a couple buttons next to the steering wheel, but they aren't really colored in, or they aren't really painted on. They're just kind of done in silver plastic. And the pedals, they're actually not brushed aluminum. They're black on here, and they're pretty much impossible to see, but they are there, and they're done in separate pieces. On this model, you also get a full headliner, too, which is cool to see. You can see there's even molded sun visors up there, and there's controls above the mirror. Overall, I'd say this is the best budget model of the 991 generation of the Porsche 911 that's out there. I think for the $45 to $60 price range, this is a great purchase in terms of its detail and everything like that. And if you're a fan of Porsches, I would recommend getting it as well, because it looks very, very good. All right, as always, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on this model. And thanks for watching.